concerning the women have been purposely destroyed. Knowledge about who the women were in history. All right. So that's one of the things, that's just in the research that I found about the things that women did to men. But when I know these laws, it's clear to me. I don't even have to have the research. I don't even have to have the writings. I see. When I look at molecular structure and I understand that he came from her, and that's the only place he could have come from, that she created him, and I see the energies that she is getting from her creation, she the problem. And I'm going to get into that tonight too. She did this. It's energy coming back on her or all women that was put out on the male. All right. When she gets in order with self, he doesn't have a choice but to straighten up. He doesn't have a choice but to treat her with respect. He doesn't have a choice. You women, as the creator, when you are in your right mind, he's got to straighten up. He doesn't have a choice. So going into that, and if y'all have any questions, let me know. Henry said, come on, Diva. I know Henry. I know it's tough. I want to know who the Anunnaki are. Maybe I will find out in the universe. Genesis, look up the book of Enki. E-N-K-I. The book of Enki. All right. Henry says, why can't we recognize them? Okay, Henry, everything is a spiritual energy. So when you come back, when I say you come back, all right, because a lot of people say, you don't believe in reincarnation. Okay, that's fine. Listen, as spiritual entities, I've discussed this before, we don't die. We always were, we always will be. The vessel expires, but as a spiritual entity, you got to roll back up in here. And you're going to have baggage that you're carrying, and you're going to have to deal with it as a spiritual entity. Now, what vessel you take on when you come back is going to be determined by the energies you put out when you left. So I'm letting you know that when those beings, according to research and archaeology and history, when those beings created the vessels and then they put all their DNA in it, they got to come back. But they're showing up in a different way, and I don't want to go into that tonight. I'm trying to get through the oracles and the Sibyls, but we'll talk. Stay tuned. I have other sessions. Okay, let me continue in this because we're understanding, because I got some other visual aids I want to go through. I want to go into more understanding about how women were conquered and how we can see it, how their history was rewritten. So I want to go into some more etymology. The term Pharaoh, all right? Pharaoh originally meant the woman's house. The woman's house. So what happened, and I need y'all to be clear on this. Why? Because see, some people are asking, well, why was the man created? Why did he was, listen, I know this is going to be upsetting, but he was a sex slave. His job was to procreate and do the heavy lifting. It wasn't a one-to-one to women like it, woman to man. It was not a one-to-one like it is now. It was not that. And if you look at the Pharaoh, the term Pharaoh, now it just says the big house. But originally it was the woman's house, and he was servicing the women in the house. He was servicing them. It wasn't that they belonged to him. He belonged to them. See, I'm going to go through this because y'all have heard how they'll tell you the movies are really telling you the truth. They'll say, oh, the movies, they put the stuff in the movies and you really don't understand what's going on. All right, Planet of the Apes. Anybody saw that movie, Planet of the Apes? So that's what happened with melanated people versus the Albion. That's what happened with the male versus the woman. That's what happened with the government versus the people. That's what happened with the Anunnaki versus humans. There's going to be a shift. There's a shift. And so what I'm trying to let you know is that things get changed, things get shifted, and the same thing happened when you're talking about, we look back in Egypt. There were a lot of women pharaohs, and they're not talked about. Let me go into it. Now, you can pull this down, and I think we have this on one of our sites for you all to be able to pull down. But these are some of the women pharaohs, and I'm going to call them out. Meredith. She was back in this time. So this is your chart. But Meredith was back here. She was a feminine pharaoh. A Nefertiti, right here. Then you had Hatshepsut. Some of y'all have seen people with these names when they changed their names to their spiritual name. Nefertiti, Tawazret, Cleopatra. All of these were women pharaohs. And what happened is, like when you see the symbols on the walls or what have you, somebody has gone in and chipped away their names in the attempt to bury the fact that there were women who were ruling back then. Hold on. Y'all ever wondered why these characters look so effeminate? You ever wondered? When a people are conquered, the conqueror will rewrite the history and write those who were conquered right out of history. And normally, who are the ones who are conquering? The ones who were originally conquered. Like the men were, again, conquered by the women, which they were created by the women. And then the creation overtook the creator. That's how that happens when the creator is not righteous to its creation. Same thing happens with children. Children who are abused and battered or what have you, they grow up to be a menace. If y'all have any questions, I want you to put them in the comment section. I'm going to answer some questions, and then I'm going to continue